Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Emil, and the curl stitch is made in multiple of 2 stitches and 4 rotative rows. So let's get started. Well, for this demonstration I have casted on 22 stitches, which is multiple of 2 stitches, and we're gonna start with the very first of the 4 rotative rows. And what we're gonna do is knit the very first stitch, but you have to know that the first stitch, it's a border stitch, so we're not going to work it anymore. And then what we're gonna do is purl 1, which will be the separation between each curl. And then we're gonna start with the first curl, which will be between next 2 stitches. We're gonna introduce the needle, grab the yarn, bring it forward, and then we're gonna wrap the stitch and yarn over, and then we're gonna knit the same stitch. So this is how we start each curl. Then we're gonna purl 1 for separation between each curl, and then we're gonna make the next curl, which is between 2 next stitches. Introduce the needle, grab the yarn, bring it forward at the front of the labor, wrap the stitch, yarn over, and knit the same one. Again, purl 1 as separation between each curl, and then we're gonna continue with the next curl, which is between 2 next stitches. Make 1, then wrapping the stitch, yarn over, and knit the same stitch. Again, purl 1, then between 2 next stitches, make 1, yarn over, and knit the same stitch. Again, purl 1. So this is how we're gonna continue until the end of the very first row of the stitch. So let's continue with it. Well, this is the last sequence of purl 1 and the last curl, which is make 1, yarn over, and knit the same one, and then the border stitch, purl 1. And this is how we over the very first row. Then we're gonna continue with the second row, and what we are going to do here is, and if you remember the very first stitch, it's a border stitch, so we are not going to work it. We're just gonna slip it to the right hand needle, and then we're gonna continue with the first curl, which there are 3 stitches of the first curl, and we're gonna purl them all. So we're gonna purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you have the stitch of the separation between each curl, which will be knit 1, which is the opposite of the right side. And then we're gonna purl the next curl, which will be 1, 2, 3. Again, knit 1 for separation between each curl, and then we have 1, 2, 3. Purl 3 for the next curl. Again, knit 1 and purl 3. 1, 2, 3. This sequence we're gonna repeat for all the rest of the row. Well, if everything is going okay, we should always purl 3, knit 1, and the last stitch, border stitch, purl 1. And then we're gonna continue again with the right side of the labor, and what we're gonna do is repeat the same order of which we have on the right side, which will be purl 1 and knit 1. So we're gonna slip the very first stitch, border stitch, and then we're gonna continue with purl 1 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, purl 1 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl 1 for separation between each curl, and knit 3. We're gonna repeat this sequence until the end of the order. Purl 1 and knit 3, and this is the third row of the curl stitch. So what you're gonna do is continue with the row number 4 on the wrong side, where we are going to close each curl. So the very first stitch, border stitch, slip stitch. Then what you're gonna do is work the very first curl, which was, if you remember, purl 3. But what you're gonna do now is purl them all together. Purl 3 together. Then the separation between each curl, it's knit 1, and again we have the next curl, which was purl 3 together. Very easy. Knit 1 and purl 3 together. This sequence we are going to repeat again for all the rest of the row. Purl 3 and knit 1. So let's continue with it. Well, this is the last row number 4 of the first line of the curls. And what you're gonna do now is continue again with the order of the first row, but what we are going to do is, instead of doing with the second stitch the curl, we are going to do it with the first stitch, and the purl stitch will be the separation at the curl of the row below. So what you're gonna do is slip stitch, border stitch, and then we're gonna make from the very first stitch the very first curl. So we're gonna introduce between next two stitches, bring the yarn at the front, wrap the stitch, yarn over, and knit 1. So we have the curl where we had before the purl stitch, and now we're gonna have the purl stitch where we had the curl at the line before. And again, between next two stitches, make 1, wrap the stitch, yarn over, and knit 1. And again, purl 1. So again, we're gonna continue with 4 rows of the next order of the curls. So this is how we make the curl stitch, turning always the 4 rows. And what I'm going to do is continue a little bit more to make it bigger, the demonstration, and show you how it looks like. So let's continue with it. Well, this is how it looks like, the curl stitch, and the curl stitch is not reversible, but even that looks very good on the wrong side as well. And I hope you really like it. If you have any question, don't hesitate to do it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me in my Instagram. Hasta luego!